So here we are, another day, another discussion. Today's topic is going to be one I think you're going to enjoy. I have some notes here that I've been taking account the last few days, and I've been noticing that there's a lot of questions that I get. Maybe you have questions in your mind about just topics that are going to pertain to your credit report. You know, what are the items that are on your credit report? What kind of items show up on your credit report if you're not aware of that? You've never taken a look at your credit report. There are some things that you may or may not be aware of. And so I want to let you know that, sometimes we have negative items show up on our credit report. We have some positive items as well, and that's what you want. You want positive items on your credit report. But there are times, even the best of us, that negative items show up. And what are they? How do we deal with those negative items, and what can we do about these negative items that show up on our credit report? Because what happens is, when you have negative items showing up on your credit report, it's going to affect your credit score and your credit profile. It's going to affect your buying power to do what the things you want to do, such as buy a car, get a student loan, get a mortgage for a house, maybe get a loan to start up a business. You're going to be affected either in the positive or in the negative. So your credit score is super crucial. And I know a lot of people don't like that. They wish they had no credit. It wasn't a part of our society, but it is. I don't know how to explain it, but you just can't get away from it. It's like one of those things. In America, we shouldn't pay taxes. I get it. I get how our country was founded. I'm very well aware of American history. I love American history, and I know how our country was founded, but it's not like that right now. It's a game, and you need to know how to play the game. And the game consists of certain rules, and you can be successful in the game if you know the rules and you know how to play the game. So what I want to show you is share with you a few things about your credit. Sorry, I just dropped my notes. About your credit that you may or may not be aware of. And so today's topic is, how long does negative information stay on your credit report? Have you ever thought about that? If you've ever looked at your credit report, you're going to notice some good things and some bad things possibly. I'm not saying everybody's credit report is the same, but there are certain things that show up on everybody's credit report. And one of the things is going to be some negative items, possibly, unless you have like a flawless credit score, which is great. And that's where we want to get you. We want to get you on a good credit score, report, and I'll talk about that later. But many times negative items shows up on our credit score. Our credit report, and it affects our credit score. And with that said, what are the items that show up negatively? And then not only that, how long are they on our report? Like, have you ever thought about that? If you have a late payment, how long does that stay on your credit report? Well, believe it or not, it shows up for a long time unless you do something about it. For example, the first thing that we're going to talk about is late payments. If you have a late payment, let's give an example. Let's say you have a credit card. Okay, you have a credit card. You make your payments. Okay, I'm not talking about the minimum. I'm not talking about the balance. And I'm not talking about your credit limit or your credit usage. I'm talking about just the payment itself. Okay, if you have a credit card, you are obligated to make a payment. You've contracted with this credit card company. It really doesn't matter what credit card company it is. Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Citibank, Chase, Wells Fargo, Navy Credit Union. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so a credit card payment, let's talk about that. When you apply for a credit card, and you are awarded a credit card, I'm just talking a basic, simple credit card. You're obligated to make a payment. You have agreed that you will make a certain amount of payments at a certain amount of time on a certain day, and you have agreed that you would make at least the minimum payment required. You can make more. I would advise you to make more, but you're obligated to at least make the minimum on a certain date. Okay. If you don't make the minimum, that's a problem, right? You're going to get hit with a penalty. If you make a payment but it's late, you're going to get hit with a penalty. If you miss let's say your payment is due on the 15th of every month, but you pay it on the 16th or the 17th or maybe the 18th. Okay. Not a big deal as far as your credit score is concerned. It won't get reported that it's late. However, you will get hit a late charge with the company, right? 30, 40, $50 late charge, whatever the consequence is. So you want to keep that in mind. So you don't want to be late. But the second thing is, if you do go beyond that, let's say $30 late, I mean 30 days late. Let's say your payment is due on the 15th, but you don't make it at all on that day or the next days, and it's not until the next month on the 15th, and a whole month went by and you didn't make a payment. Okay, that's going to not only give you a consequence of a late fee, but it's going to hinder your credit relationship with that credit card company, and they're going to report it to the credit card bureaus that you're late, and it's going to be a negative impact on your credit report. Now, do you want to know how long that stays on your record? Take a guess. How long do you think a late payment stays on your record? A couple of months, half a year, 3/4 of a year, 1 year? No. A late payment stays on your credit report up to 7 years. Are you aware of that? 7 years, a late payment can stay on your credit report. If you have one late payment, it can stay on your credit report for 7 years unless you do something about it. And I'll tell you what, no one's going to do anything about it unless you do something about it. There's nobody that cares about your credit score, and there's nobody that is going to look out for you to make sure you get it done unless you do some type of action. You have to keep an eye on your credit score, your credit report. And if you have late payments, listen, we've all had our struggles with credit in the past, whatever, right? I have myself as well. But you address it, you take care of it. Like I've had car trouble. If you don't do anything about my truck, if I don't address the issues, nothing's going to fix my truck. I have to be the one to actually look into what's wrong with my truck, call a mechanic, and have someone that knows what they're doing fix my truck. Okay, my truck is not driving properly. It's acting up. Can you take a look at my truck, Mr. Mechanic, and see what's going on? And then once you see what's going on, give me a price, and then I'll pay you to fix it. That's how your credit report works. You need to look at your credit report. You need to take a look at it. And if you don't know how to fix it, then you need to hire somebody to fix it. That and simple. Because if you don't, no one is going to do it. If I don't call my mechanic, who's going to fix my truck? There's not going to be somebody that's just going to come to my garage and just, hey, is your truck need work on? I'll just fix it. Nobody's going to do that. You got to do it yourself. Okay. Another thing that's going to be on your credit report that takes a long time to get off unless you do something is going to be collections. If you've ever had collections on your credit report because you have neglected to pay your bill, the obligation that you've agreed to, it's going to, and so what happens is a credit card company or any other loan company, if you are negligent on paying that and they try to get their money and they are unsuccessful, therefore they send it to a collection agency, and the collection agency is now going to try and get their money. That whole aspect from the credit card company to the collection company is a red flag, and it's going to get triggered onto your credit report, and it's going to be considered a collection or charge off, and it's going to be staying on your report, again, unless you do something, for 7 years. 7 years it will stay on your credit report. That's a long time. That's a long time having a collection on your report, even if you don't even have the card anymore. You've closed the account, you're done with it. Maybe even you've paid off the collection company. It's still on your report because it's still been reported that you went to collection. 7 years. Okay, the next item is going to be a bankruptcy. Okay, depending on the type, there are several types of different bankruptcies. Depending on the type, if you've ever filed for bankruptcy, you probably have the idea or the understanding that it's going to be a benefit to you because it wipes away your debt. Okay, it might. You might have that, but the bankruptcy is still going to be filed on your report. And it's going to, your report is going to let everybody else know from that point forward, whenever you try to get a car loan, a credit card, a mortgage, that you filed for bankruptcy, and it's going to stay on your report. Again, just as long as the collections or late payments for 7 years minimum, between 7 and 10 years, it will stay on your report, depending on the type of bankruptcy. Chapter 7, Chapter 11, Chapter 13. I'm not going to go into all the different types of bankruptcies right now, but you know what a bankruptcy is. A bankruptcy is when you have filed for bankruptcy and you're telling everybody in the world you can't pay for anything, and please wipe off your debt. That may happen, but the actual note, the actual um, event that took place is the bankruptcy. It will stay on your report for 7 to 10 years. Okay, the next thing is going to be hard inquiries. Okay, a hard inquiry is when you apply for a credit card or for an auto loan or for a mortgage for a house, whatever. If you're applying for a loan, you're giving that company the access to look at your report to see how you have handled your finances. And when they do that, that's considered a hard inquiry. You may or may not get the loan. It doesn't matter. Even if you got the loan, that's great for you because you got the loan, you got the money, you got to do what you need to do. But it's still going to go down on your report as a hard inquiry. Now, if they look at your credit report, credit score, credit profile, and you don't get the loan, you got a denial, and then also you got a hard inquiry. So either way, you're getting a hard inquiry. Whether you got the loan or not, you got a hard inquiry. So what's going to happen is that you're going to have a list at the end of your credit report. There's going to be a summary, boom, 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 of all these things that you've tried to apply for. And each one is going to be listed as a hard inquiry. And those stay on your report for 2 years. Okay, so I'm going to recap. How long does negative items stay on your credit report? Late payments, 7 years. Okay. Collections, number 2 item, 7 years. Bankruptcies, 7 to 10 years, depending on the type of bankruptcy. Hard inquiries, 2 years. Okay, with that said, think about your credit report, your credit score. Have you looked at it lately? Do you think, well, okay, we're in the year 2025. Maybe 4 or 5 years ago, you had a hard inquiry. Maybe 4 or 5, 6 years ago, you had a bankruptcy and you're thinking, is it off? Is it still on there? Maybe 2 years ago, you had some late payments and you're thinking, well, that was a couple years ago. I've turned the corner. I've changed my habits, and that's great. If you've changed your habits and you've realized that you have now turned over a new leaf and you've decided, okay, I'm going to fix my credit and start making good habits, those are wonderful things. If you're no longer late on your payments and you're no longer neglecting your credit, great. That will boost your credit a little bit when you start doing some smart habits, wise habits. But I'm here to tell you, even if you've changed your habits in the last let's say 2025, a new year, a new me, right? New resolution. I'm going to start paying on time and be smarter with my finances. Great. But if you've been bad with them in the last couple of years or 3, 4, whatever, it's still on your report. And so you need to address that. And that's what I'm here to help you with. I'm here to tell you what you should know, because these things that I'm telling you, it's hard to find that type of information. I have clients that call me every day or message me every day. They need help with their credit. And I am so willing to help them because I want people to know this information. I'm here to help people. If you need help with your credit report, your credit score, your credit situation, especially you need to fix your credit. That's what I'm here for. This is what I do. If you're watching this on Instagram, thank you so much for watching. If you're not following me on Instagram, I ask you, please like it, comment, and then follow me, because I have that. If you're watching this on YouTube, again, I also thank you. I thank you. I ask you to just watch. Maybe you can learn something. Maybe I could be a channel that you would like to stop by every now and then and see what I got to say, because this channel is going to be focused on credit, financing, and how to improve your finances in your right. And I hope that I've given you a little bit of value. So how long does negative items impact or stay on your credit report? 7 years. 2 years, 7 years, and maybe even up to 10 years. So if you need help removing these, if you have negative items, get with me, let me know, direct message me or email me, contact me. My information is down below, and I would love to help you. And I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up because it's a little long. That I don't like super long videos, but I don't like the whiz bang videos either. I'm just here talking to you straight shooter, and I'm just telling you how I've learned it, and I want to share that information to you. So thank you for watching. If you watched this far, I really appreciate it. Please like.